I have spent a lot of my life being a victim. And when I say that, I don't mean necessarily that I'm always boohooing about things that have happened to me. What I'm saying is that I've had situations where I was in several abusive relationships. I've been attacked in my sleep twice by two different people, things like that. Also, I've had circumstances happen that have prevented me from getting what I want or achieving what I want. And those circumstances seem to be out of my control completely. Where if I told my story, what happened, the events that played out look like I was a victim. And that is how this world sees a lot of things that happen to them. So there's victims of abuse, victims of crime, people who are stolen from, victims of the environment like hurricanes, floods, volcanoes. And in this world, we say those people are victims to those circumstances because they had no control over the circumstance or how to get out of it. Say people are victims to the government or the people in power over them. Slaves are victims to their owners. People are born with disorders. We say they're victims to their genetics. Well, it's all bullshit. It's not that those circumstances didn't happen. It's that we're perceiving it in a way that is damaging to us. More damaging than the event itself. I'm just going to tell you how I perceive it as an example of a way that I think is more helpful. Through all my experiences and then through all of my studying of philosophy, religions, quantum physics, psychology, what I realized was that everything around me, including other people's actions and events that happen which seem to be completely out of my control, they are happening because of something that I am believing about myself, which is false. Otherwise, they wouldn't happen. So if I have someone coming at me with a knife and cutting me up or something, that person exists in my reality acting in that way because of my perception of them. And that perception is based on a belief about myself. This life on earth is for me to realize who I am. And the who that I am cannot be hurt. And so if I am being hurt or penetrated in a damaging way by this knife, then I have a false belief about myself, which is that I am being hurt, that there is an evil person in front of me attacking me. And I'm not saying denying that the experience that you are experiencing, but realizing that the reason you're having that experience is because of a forgetfulness of who you really are. Because who you really are cannot be hurt. You are a loving being that cannot be hurt and also is loved. If you don't feel that in the moment of being cut by someone else, that's the lie that you believe. And you're having that experience to undo that lie. Because you have the capability of experiencing that person in a completely different way. But you're not because of the lie that you are believing about who you are. And you might think, well, what about like babies and children who experience these traumatizing things? The babies and the children that are born into this world, they are born into bodies that carry genetic patterns. And these patterns are passed on from their parents. Basically, it is consciousness sent here to undo the fuckery. So it's as if my parent couldn't figure this fucking thing out, so I'm going to come in with that same belief system and see if I can undo the fuckery. And sometimes we make it worse. But in realizing this, those situations where I was attacked by another, I realized that I can't put the blame on the other. I also don't put the blame on myself. because I am that perfect being that's trying to remember that I am that perfect being. And because I didn't realize that there was a part of me that forgot, this person is doing me a favor to show me where I'm not believing that. This event, this catastrophe is doing me a favor to show me where I'm not believing that, so that I can remember who the fuck I am. So instead of thinking I'm a victim, what I realize is that it's like a workout. If I'm swept away by a flood, I don't need to fight the flood. All I gotta do is remember that I don't have to fight the flood, that I can ride the wave, and I survive. Because I'm not limited in the way that I believe that I am. I am to remember that I am an unlimited, all-powerful, loving being.